I get to call you Brilcrimus Prime now?
Let's go. We don't have much time.
My name is Adam Cook, and I am a badass gangster punk rocker, and I am here with Colm, who's a sensible young man from Ireland. How are you, Colm? You all right?
I'm absolutely fantastic, Adam. How are you?
Although
we're probably going to...
Colm, you have, like myself, played and very much enjoyed Sunset Overdrive, didn't you? Haven't you?
I have, yes. Facetiousness aside, I did very much enjoy Sunset Overdrive.
Colm, it's January. Please, can we not be bringing big words into it this early on? I mean...
I do apologise, my vocabulary is just bursting at the seams.
That's
Adam.
an egregious error, and you're just exacerbating the problem with this whole video or audio. However you're listening to this, basically, Sunset Overdrive has had some DLC, which we've shown you, or you've shown them, and I say them, talking about our viewers and listeners.
What's happening?
I don't know, but they've seen that DLC because it was a weapon pack. But now, Colm, God damn it, this is a proper piece of DLC. This is some story missions. This is a new area. This is new mechanics. What's it called, first and foremost? I'm going to hit you with the hard questions, and I'm going to bang my desk again and say, Colm, what's it called?
It's called Sunset Overdrive and the Mystery of the Mooil Rig.
Good. That's a good name. Yeah, actually, that is quite a good name, actually, to be fair.
I do, yeah, it's alright.
So hang on. Tell me about it, please, mate. What's it all about?
So, do you remember
Nope.
Brill Cream?
Oh.
Not the hair product that was got a sort of resurgence in the late 90s, early 2000s, thanks to Mr. Golden Balls himself, David Beckham. But yes, Adam, the character of Brill Cream. Well, he was the Scouts leader,
Right,
kind
yeah,
of.
okay, now I do remember him, yeah.
Guy. Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
he had no arms or legs.
Oh, that's no spoilers.
It's a video about the fucking DLC, and it's story DLC, Adam Cook. And that isn't a spoiler at all, because when you meet him, he has no arms and legs. Doesn't he? I think. I don't know.
Go on.
Who cares? Anyway, so he's gone missing. You must find him. And when you find him, he tells you about this oil rig that's off Sunset City, and a lot of the OD are, I don't know, they're the OD that have been drinking the overcharge. Well, they're mixing in with the oil from the oil rig, and it's a disaster.
Hang on.
All that.
Rather than blow us all away with the story and spoiling it even further, I have to ask you a question. So this new area, that this oil rig area, is it completely new? Like, it was not there on the map before, or is it just that this is an area that's now been populated with stuff to do?
No, it's completely new.
So it's just there now.
It's well.
Do you see what I'm getting at? I'm
You can't, like, it is separate, because as far as I'm aware, you can't actually get to the oil rig without initiating the DLC, in a sense of...
And how do you do that? Because that's always something I'm interested in, genuinely. I'm not being sarcastic. Like, how do you access this DLC content?
Oh, there's just, once you have the DLC, there's a story mission icon will come up on your map.
Oh.
And you just, that's basically it. Because, like, once you I was going to spoil some. Basically, a thing happens, and you kind of, you fly to the oil rig. So, it is sort of separate to a degree. But it's, it's quite different aesthetically, because, like, when you think of Sunset Overdrive and Sunset City, it's just so much colour just thrown at your face. This is a far more subdued Sunset Overdrive.
One could almost argue that the colour is like an overdriven sunset.
Well, funny you mention that, because this is a sunset, but it's not overdriven, because the sun is actually setting in this
You ruined it.
Area. Right, okay. So you have your oil rig, which is a lot smaller than Sunset City. Now, that would be... you'd be going to that knowing that, really, because it's fucking DLC.
Are you suggesting that people looking at this may have thought that the DLC would be the same size as the game again?
Well, you see that in other games, don't you? Or
what, the entire game again?
The point I'm making, before you rudely interrupted,
No, I'm going to keep interrupting you.
was was that it
Summer
is
punk rocker.
a lot smaller.
Steampunk.
An awful lot smaller because it relies on a sort of like basically the area goes up rather than out, you know, which doesn't lend itself well to the actual gameplay, because the gameplay of Sunset Overdrive is you're covering a lot of ground by grinding across rails and telephone poles and all that type of stuff.
And you're moving quickly as well. Moving a lot of distance and quickly. In
this, it's a lot more awkward because you're going up rather than across or whatever. So it's not very enjoyable, Adam, to actually traverse the area itself. Now, they've tried, because it's a lot more aerial, they've tried to combat that by introducing a new skill or ability or whatever you want to call it. So in the water, I don't know, can you do this from the start in Sunset Overdrive, but it happens kind of later on, where you can grind on the water. Well, in this you can do that, but as well as that, after grinding you can dive into the water and then shoot right up.
Yeah, that's
and again
you can only grind for like a second or two in the water normally.
Yeah, and then you can you can travel more distance in the actual water if you want by grinding, diving, jumping up, grinding, so on and so forth. But so with this new diving and jumping out, like, it propels you massively up into the air. You can reach higher areas, but at the same time, when you're actually on the oil rig itself and trying to get onto higher areas, it can be very, very awkward.
But these new mechanics actually come to the rest of the game as well. So the only problem I think with that is, I mean, it's as cool as that is, and it makes sense from a technical standpoint. It's like, I kind of get the feeling that if you were playing this, it's because you have run out of sort of mission content in the main game. So having mechanics that let you do this stuff in the water back in the main island is kind of pointless.
Sort of, I suppose. I mean, it's clearly brought in for the reasons I just outlined with regards to this particular DLC, and it does help you a little bit. But again, you just can't get around the fact that the design of like trying to traverse around it, it's just not as fun and it's not as fluid. Because that was one of my favourite things about Sunset Overdrive, is how quick it was. This just seems to stilt your movement somewhat.
Colm, I'm going to have to stop you there.
Your mother's right. I am an adult and I do have germs.
Yeah, did you not hear me stopping? Go on.
No, I'm just going to have to stop you there. No, seriously, it's time. I'm sorry, Colm, to interrupt you, but I'm going to put on my journalist hat now. This is some serious business, and I have to ask the hard-hitting questions, because I feel if I don't, I mean, who will? Who will ask them?
Very true.
So,
very true.
Colm, shush and listen and answer this question.
Yeah. Okay.
Is this DLC good?
It's fine. It's fine.
And I like to think that's the kind of hard-hitting investigative journalism you won't find anywhere else.
It's fine. You know, it's fucking alright, Adam. It's not great, to be honest. It's fucking only alright.
Like, I want some passion from you.
Right, the enemies themselves, I mean, for the most part, like, there aren't too many new ones. You have the OD and you have the oil rig workers, and the oil rig workers themselves, they're just scabs. You know, just the enemies from the actual original game themselves. Like, there's two new weapons as well. One is a kind of a flamethrower type thing. The other thing actually is a bit useful. It's electricity based, where you're kind of laying down mines as such, because if you shoot one on the ground, then you move a bit and shoot it somewhere within the same distance, a little current will go through those two mines, for lack of a better word. You go again, shoot another one, and it'll go again. Like, it's similar to one of the traps. I can't remember the name, but you remember those traps from the original game where you could link the things together? It's very similar to that. That's kind of cool. Like, there's two new amps as well, a new piranha trap. Like, there is stuff here for the people who want a bit more Sunset Overdrive. Now, the story-based missions themselves, they're fine, Adam. Like, one thing that's very disappointing is the boss. the boss, because that's one of the best things about Sunset Overdrive is how creative they are with the actual boss stages. This just seems very, very pedestrian. Now, the name of the boss, I quite enjoyed.
Right.
Would you like to know the name of the boss, Adam?
Well, you've spoiled everything else, so why not?
No, it's on an oil rig, okay? So what would be around, and this is kind of away from the main Sunset City. Water, okay, very good. So what would be another name for, water?
Sea.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this fella, you're going to go places, Adam Cook. The name of the boss, and it's a big scary boss, right? So what would a big scary, big
Sea
massive
lion? Sea monster.
sea monster? And what is this content?
Sea monster DLC?
No, you're so close. How do you get this content, Adam Cook?
Download it.
What do you?
Pay
Yes. No, you're right in the first one. So it is what content?
Downloadable content.
Yeah, right. So it's DLC. So what is the name of the monster that you said lives in the sea?
CLC?
No, fucking dickhead.
Is it? I mean, I don't.
All right, okay. It's the DLC monster, which I quite enjoyed.
Yeah, quite good. Quite good.
And this past minute and a half was well worth that.
It was. Colm, it's time for us to finish talking about this, so I'm going to ask you to do one thing with me. I'm going to ask you to repeat after me. First of all, I want you to hit your desk, and then I want you to say, that was pathetic. Could you please hit it like you're a man? Better.
Jesus Christ almighty.
Yep, that's much better. And I want you to say, Sunset Overdrive is a fantastic game. The DLC is just fine.
Must I bang the desk again?
Yep.
All right. Sunset Overdrive is a fantastic game. The DLC is fine. I didn't get the wording exactly right. I'm sorry.
Thank you very much for your time. And if you could possibly ring the doctors and get me an appointment for an X-ray, I would be very, very thankful. Whatever you want to do, just do it. Bye, Colm.
Bye. Just do it. You know?
Nike. Ah, shit.
Nike. Sunset
Bye.
Overdrive, sponsored by Nike. Bye.
The saddest part about that whole thing is that most people under 30 won't get the reference.